What's going on, everyone? So today we're going to be working on the 2007 Yamaha VX Cruiser because last video of it was me just getting it home, putting it on the trailer, and I was able to take it out the next day on the water. I took it on the river and, well, it was having some issues. At first it was running alright. It was kind of bogging at the line, but nothing like too major. But then after running it for some time, it started doing this weird surging thing where I would go to floor it, it would get up to speed, but then if I went full throttle, all of a sudden it would stop at like 35 or 40 miles an hour and then slowly back down. And then if I just had it pinned, all of a sudden it would regain power and then go again and come back, go again, come back. So I knew something was up, and a lot of times they do say always check your intake, and I did do that. And if you can see in there, there's garbage there, some other garbage there. So we are going to be taking apart the grate underneath and trying to get that stuff out of there. We might have to take this whole housing apart, but we will see. Another thing is spark plugs. I did remove one of the spark plugs on this already, and it was pretty burnt up. So for about 10 bucks, might as well change the spark plugs on it. Now, to do that, just gotta take the seat off here. Set that aside. And then the coil packs, all it is are these clips right here. Push down this tab, clip comes off. This is a 10mm bolt. Undo that, and then get like a pry bar or a screwdriver or something underneath here to pull up, and the coil pack will come out. I did have the spark plugs soaking in penetrating oil just because I don't want them breaking off, so I sprayed them down yesterday, so they should come out nice and easy. I'm just gonna spray it out, make sure there's no debris and stuff in there that could fall in the holes, and then we're going to pull out the spark plugs, put new ones in, make sure they're all gapped, and I believe it's anywhere from 0.028 to 0.033. So I'm going to make sure they're gapped at like 0.28 to 0.03, and hopefully that helps with the bogging issue / surging. We're also going to take a look at the air box as well. And like I mentioned, there is garbage in the jet pump, so we're going to be taking that apart from underneath and trying to pull out all that garbage, because that's not awesome to have in there. So let's start with the spark plug. So I just pulled out the cylinder spark plug, and as you can see, maybe if it focuses, it was pretty dirty. So it's just good maintenance to put in new spark plugs. I just checked the gap on this one. Make sure it's all set to go. And right before I do, I'm going to put a little anti-seize on the spark plugs threads so it easily comes out next time. And then I'm going to repeat the process for all the other three of them. Now I did find this hose because the other day when I was looking at the air box, I noticed this wasn't capped off or anything. And then as I was removing the spark plugs, I saw this hose kind of like tucked in here. Like, this seems like it should go somewhere, and then I pulled it out and realized it probably goes right over here. So maybe that's part of the issue of why it was surging or bogging, because it has a vacuum leak. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Change out the spark plugs, check the air filter, make sure this gets reattached, clean out the jet pump, and could be one of the multitude of things, but hopefully it fixes it so I can go above 40 miles an hour and have a lot more fun with this thing and not have to flush it out. While I was out there riding, I would have it like half throttle, it would be doing fine. I go to give it throttle and it would start dying. So I would have to kind of like flush it out and just play with the throttle like in and out till it like kind of cleared itself out and would go. But I don't know, I've heard it could be the spark plugs, it could be the fuel injectors, but I'm going to wait off on the fuel injectors, just do the spark plugs, air box, jet pump, and reconnect this hose that somebody forgot to reconnect, and go from there and test it out, see what happens. Alright, so I just finished with the last spark plug, put everything back together, reconnected all the wires. I made sure to put a little dielectric grease inside the coil packs, like at the bottom hole, just squeeze a little like pea dollop or whatever inside there, just to help with connectivity. Now, we're going to take off the air box really quick, just check the filter. Even though they told me they did change it, it's always good to check it anyways. And then we'll move on to the grate underneath for the jet pump. Alright, so I got the air filter out. It is a K&N air filter, and it's actually very clean, which is a good thing. There's a little bit of oil that was down in there, so I wiped it up, but not a big issue. I'm going to put this back in, reattach the air box, and like I said, we'll move on down to the grate for the jet pump. So as you can see, I ended up taking off more than just the grate right here and the plate that goes right here. So here's the grate, the inlet grate, and then I have the jet and the reverse thing taken off, and the main plate is up over there because it had water in it. But I end up actually pulling out all this garbage you see here. So this thing was in there. There's like a tie, a bunch of just other like algae stuff, and then wrappers from I have no idea what. Babe Ruth. Okay, so a wrapper from a candy bar. But all that was in there. Should have everything out of there now, but the fins on the impeller are kind of jacked up. They're not horrible, well, they are kind of bad. So I'll probably be looking into taking this whole thing apart over the winter and fixing those fins or getting a whole new impeller. Hopefully now with all this stuff cleaned out, the jet pump and the impellers, new spark plugs, and the air filter checked, hopefully it's going to run a lot better. But now I'm going to put all this back together, and it was this bolt, then these 4 bolts around, and then 4 bolts holding the plate on, and then 4 screws for the speedometer piece, whatever this thing is called, speedometer, whatever it is, it's for the speedo. But now it's time to put it all back together and go test it, at least run some water through it, and then maybe take it on the water today if I have time. If not, maybe this weekend, and see if it runs any better. But let's get it all back together. Alright, so as you saw, had it running off the hose, flushed everything out. Seems to be running alright. Won't know until I have it on the water once it's under load, because that impeller has to be able to push the water out, and it's going to take on a larger load. So we're going to take this on the water in the next clip here. So let's go do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so it's a couple days later, and unfortunately yesterday I did take the jet ski out. I made a whole, I took a whole bunch of footage, and of course it got corrupted. So I was planning on taking the jet ski out today anyways, but today we're at the Portage Marina, and we're going to be taking on Lake Michigan. Yesterday I took it on the river near me, but honestly the jet ski is actually running a whole lot better. It's not doing the surging issue. So let's go get on the water and have some fun with it, and I'll catch back with you guys. Well, first off, I'm shirtless because, well, my shirt got soaked in the front of the jet ski, which apparently is not as watertight as they say it is. Because, well, the waves, as you can see, maybe from that footage, I haven't looked at it yet, but it was pretty choppy out there. They were calling for like 1 to 2 foot waves, but I think there were 2 to 3s with occasional 4s. It was quite fun though. I enjoyed myself. My arms are kind of numb. I'm getting feeling back in my hands, and my legs are going to be very sore tomorrow. Same with my arms, because I was manhandling that jet ski to say the least. But anyways, from the test ride yesterday that the footage got corrupted on, the jet ski is running a lot better with the brand new plugs in it, and I made sure to gap everything about 0.208, and the old plugs, some of them weren't gapped properly, some of them had a really wide gap, other ones had a narrow gap, so that probably was the issue. And $10 later, jet ski seems to be running great. The throttle response is very quick, it's not delayed, and there's no surging issue anymore, which if I was on the lake today with that issue, I probably would have ended up in the water. But otherwise, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and if you didn't, go ahead and give it a dislike, but let me know what I can improve on for next video, and I will catch you guys later. Bye.